Han er tilbage igen. Man må så tilbage med kort hår, men han har reddet dem en lille smule med en kasket. Simpelthen, sådan er det jo. Jeg føler, at jeg ser sådan 5 år ældre ud. Altså, jeg føler, at jeg er i slut 20'erne lige nu. Sådan med lidt skæg og kort hår og alt det der. Men hey, vi lader håret vokse ud. Vi lader mig blive ung igen langsomt. I dag der skal vi snakke om nogen, der ikke er unge længere. Det er nemlig Gary Neville. Sikke en intro. Men jeg har simpelthen fundet den her video, der hedder The Truth About Gary Neville Nobody's Talking About. Og det der med Gary Neville, det er... Jeg har aldrig set ham spille fodbold, jo. Og det er der nok også mange af jer derude, der heller ikke har. Eller jo, måske lige i slutningen. Jo, det har jeg vel. Jeg kan ikke huske det. Jeg kan i så fald ikke huske det. Men det har i hvert fald været max slutningen af hans karriere. Og hvad jeg egentlig føler, han er, det er, at han er meget humble omkring sin karriere. Altså sådan, han taler aldrig sig selv op. Og nu har jeg fundet den her video med The Truth About Gary Neville. Fordi jeg tror lidt, at han taler sig selv længere ned, end hvad det egentlig burde være. Og så må vi jo se, hvad videoen her den gerne vil vise. Jeg gætter på, den gerne vil vise, hvor god han var. Så subscribe, hvis I er nye, hvis I gerne vil se flere sådan nogle type videoer. Og lad os se, hvad videoen kan. Damn, vi starter hårdt ud.
Richards was better than Gary Neville. Well, we all know how ridiculous that is. Well, anybody who watched Neville play knows that. But how good was Gary Neville really? As good as Kyle Walker? Better than Trent Alexander-Arnold? The big question is this. Who and what made people so confident in dismissing Neville's ability? And the answer is Gary Neville. I know.
Præcis, det var det, jeg sagde. Han taler altid sig selv ned, og jeg tror legit, det er det der, ikke ødelagt det, men sådan, at det nærmest kun er dem, der har set ham spille, der rent faktisk rater ham. Fordi jeg har det jo sådan lidt, der er jo også spillere, man går tilbage. Altså hvis jeg bare instant sagde, fucking Maradona, ikke? Altså så er der jo mange, der bare vil sige, baller. Fordi det er bare sådan, det er jo det, han er blevet talt op til at være, og man har selvfølgelig set nogle clips og så videre. Men det der også er med Gary Neville, ikke? Det er, at han er en højreback, der... Han var jo ikke sådan... For eksempel ligesom Kyle Walker, han blev talt op til at være den bedste Premier League højreback of all time. Og jeg tror altid, en af grundene er bare... Et, han selvfølgelig vinder mange mesterskaber, men 2, at han bare er fucking hurtig, og det bare ser lidt sejr ud. Hvor jeg tror, Gary Neville bare var klogere.
I know, it's confusing. Let's get one thing straight immediately. Gary Neville is one of the best ever right-backs to play in the Premier League. He made his debut in 92, and between then and his retirement in 2011, United won everything.
Okay,
everything.
Ja, præcis. 2011, jeg tænkte nok, så jeg har nok set ham spille i slutningen.
More than once. The absolute pinnacle of his career came in 99 when United won the treble. And in that season, he played a crucial role in all 3 trophy wins. He played 34 out of 38 games in the league. He played every game in the FA Cup and
jeg tror faktisk nærmest...
every game in the Champions League.
Jeg tror faktisk, det er mere imponerende der tilbage, grundet sådan, altså, hvor klogere man er blevet med tiden, med teknologien og alt muligt. Altså med at kunne holde øje med folks kroppe, sådan, hvad de kan, hvad de ikke kan og så videre. At han så har kunnet det der tilbage. Fair play.
So why do people insist that Neville was just part of a great team, that he was carried by Beckham for all those years?
Det er lidt sådan den vibe, jeg føler også, jeg får, når folk snakker om ham.
Absolutely destroying teams down that right-hand side. He was with his crossing, and I was supporting him in a way which, to be fair, was a side dish, really.
In actual fact, Neville was just as important to Beckham as Beckham was to him. During the 90s and early 2000s, Neville and Beckham formed an incredible partnership and destroyed teams down their right-hand side. United's greatest creative outlet. Neville on the overlap, Beckham with the cross. When Beckham left in 2003, Neville would surely be exposed, right? After all, he was just an average player who was being carried by Beckham. Wrong. Gary Neville stepped up and became the best crosser of the ball in the United team, and by an extension, possibly in the entire league. Playing behind Beckham, he'd learned that the most dangerous crosses were hit first time, before defenders could get set. He identified this and became a prolific creator of chances. An overlapping run down the right, a whipped first-time cross into the box. Neville was a threat going forward. It wasn't just hard work and professionalism, but it's those things that made him the obvious choice to take over as captain when Roy Keane left the club after falling out with Fergie. United won 4 league titles and a European Cup between 2006 to 2011 with Neville as club captain. Can you think of another captain who has won close to that and is talked about the way Neville is? Even Jordan Henderson, who's generally considered to be a functional player and won just a fraction of what Neville did, is respected more.
But
jeg føler lidt i forhold til Jordan Henderson, at jo, han fik sådan respekt til sidst fra andre fans, men jeg føler, at det vil være mere Liverpool-fans, der skulle tale ham op mere end for eksempel Gary Neville. Altså, det vil jeg sige. Hvis Hvis jeg vil sige, og jeg har jo som sagt nærmest ikke set Gary Neville spille, men hvis jeg skulle nævne den mest ikoniske spiller, eller en af de to, så føler jeg alligevel, at Neville trods alt har lidt mere legacy at gøre op med en Jordan Henderson, som kun har en Premier League, en Champions League, og så måske en FA Cup eller et eller andet, hvor Gary Neville trods alt har lidt mere arbejde med.
You know, it's a big
Også som klubkaptajn.
game, and it's great to be sat beside a legend of the game, and Gary Neville.
That's what we like from you both.
If Neville really truly was as unremarkable a player as people want you to believe.
I never, ever once worried where Gary Neville was.
Yeah, because you used to tell him where to stand. That's why.
No.
No one wants to be a fullback as a kid. No one wants to grow up and be a Gary Neville.
Det er faktisk vildt, når man sådan lige kigger tilbage på det der, hvor meget disrespect egentlig får. Det er faktisk også det, timestamp siger, det er disrespect. Men det ligner jo, at det er fordi, der er jo, og det tænker jeg også, I ved, sådan ud fra jeres vennegrupper, eller whatever, ikke? Der er bare visse typer, du kan hit på, hvor de sådan vil tage det med grin, eller ikke tænke så meget over det. Og så er der nogen, der ved du godt, de kan måske reagere på en vis måde, så der gør du det ikke. Og jeg tror bare, Gary Neville er den type i gruppen, man tager lidt pis på, hvis jeg skal være ærlig.
Why wasn't he moved on and replaced like his brother Phil had been? United won 13 of 21 Premier League titles under Fergie. Neville was the starting right back for 8 of them. United signed just 3 right backs during the 20-year period Neville was at the club. Henning Berg, Richie Delay, and Rafael da Silva. He was as close to an ever-present as it gets during a period of dominance in the Premier League that only City have looked close to emulating. He was in a great team.
Yeah, but he was in a great team.
But he was great. You still think he was just a very professional
Det er
person?
sådan, at han var i godt hold, ja, men han var måske også en af dem, der gjorde holdet godt jo. Selvom en bak er en bak, I know, men stadig.
Who was fortunate to be in a great team? Let me ask you a question. What do Ashley Cole, Carl Walker, Pablo Zabaleta, Bakary Sagna, Lee Dixon and Kieran Trippier all have in common?
Fuck. Det var fordi, jeg troede, jeg skulle lige til at sige fart. Men hvad var det så, der kom frem? Så kom der en eller anden frem. Der kom en eller anden frem. Hvem var det, jeg tænkte på? Ashley Cole. Prøv lige vent.
Let me ask you a question.
Nu skal jeg
What
se.
do Ashley Cole, Carl
Ja.
Walker,
Ja.
Pablo Zabaleta,
Se, han var ikke hurtig. Det var det, jeg mente.
Sagna, Lee Dixon
Sagna var heller ikke
and
hurtig.
Kieran Trippier all
Det er ikke som ved jeg ikke, Trippier er heller ikke hurtig. Alle har i common. I don't fucking know, dude. At de har vundet Premier League.
in common. They've all won less than Gary Neville. Yeah, that's true, but that's not.
Damn! Hold on! This boy's cooking. Han glæser også lidt Gary Neville, men fair nok. Bro, det var faktisk koldt sagt.
Okay, I'll give you a minute. All right, I'll tell you. Gary Neville has more assists than all of them
Together.
combined. An average
Ja. Wow. Wow.
footballer, right? Neville
Wow.
also had a 37% clean sheet rate. Only Lee Dixon from the previous list was able to match that. Neville wasn't just a player who happened to be in a good team. He was one of the reasons why that team was so good. So why, if these things are true, do people speak so confidently about how bad Neville was? There are 2 reasons. Well, there
Han var
are 3.
ikke flair.
But
Altså,
we don't
jeg vil sige, det har noget at gøre med alt det der flair der. Det er jeg næsten sikker
into
på.
that everyone
Eller over.
hates United any further. Reason number 1, recency bias.
I think he's a better defender as well than Gary Neville ever was.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Get yourself
It's
out
true.
of there right now.
Jeg kan ikke gøre mig klog på det. Fordi jeg så ikke Gary Neville spille jo i sin
You don't
klub.
know, have you got any water? You didn't have a TV. You didn't see
Alright,
Match of the Day,
alright,
no
I didn't have a
TV.
TV.
St. and Greasy weren't
I
in
didn't
your
have a
house.
TV.
You're talking about Gary Neville like he's an any man.
Comparing Neville's on-the-ball technical proficiency with the likes of Trent or Cancelo is as pointless as comparing Beckham and Salah's goal totals. The positions demand different things nowadays. Sure, he didn't have a single standout flashy attribute like Walker's pace
Det var lige, ja, det var en af mine argumenter for det.
or Trent's delivery, but he was a very intelligent, aggressive, determined defender who never gave you space, delivered accurate crosses into the box, and would give you a 7.5 out of 10. In 34 out of 38
Og
league
den var der
games
bare
this
brug for en
season,
gang med
Neville
på holdet
didn't
bare.
revolutionise the fullback role, but he did it as good as anyone at that time. Not up there with Cafu and Thuram at the very top, but certainly in the conversation with Zanetti and Zambrotta. Comparing between eras is just so difficult. All we can do is look at how well a player performed compared to their peers during the era, and Neville was as good in his era as Walker is now, and arguably better than Trent. He was a more accurate crosser than Trent was. Neville just crossed the ball at a much lower frequency. Again, different demands on the position. I'm not going to make things up and claim that Neville could
Fair.
play the kind of passes from deep that Trent does or deliver the set pieces like him. He couldn't. But what I'm telling you is, Trent absolutely could not have played the role that Neville did. His defensive weaknesses and unwillingness to sprint back and defend would have been exposed on a weekly basis. He simply would not have survived.
Bro, det er en fucking nice video der faktisk.
Different times, different demands.
The biggest problem I've got is what's going to be over my shoulder, because naturally your body does that.
Det er også det. Altså, fodbold har jo også bare ændret sig. Altså, sådan, der er jo forskelligt nu fra, hvad man forlanger af en Trent, som hvad man måske gjorde til Gary Neville for 20 år siden.
Turn to it. So I can't see that player, the winger or the forward on my blind side. I had the most comfortable moments in my career when one of the most hardest positions to defend was going on because I had Gary Neville.
Do you honestly think Van Dijk or Konate would feel that way about Trent? Don't think so. And reason number 2 is because of Neville himself. He was absolutely hated by opposition fans as a player, and this meant he was facing an uphill battle to win viewers over when he became a pundit in 2011. Being happy at being the butt of the joke and adopting an incredibly self-deprecating sense of humour is one way he has gone about winning people over. Those same people who saw him play and couldn't get over their hatred of him. And young people now who only caught the tail end of his career. With Neville's humble nature towards how good he was, it's empowered people to look at him differently. Neville's not going to set the record straight himself. So I'll let some of the biggest names and managers in football tell you instead.
Okay. Neville was the most professional player I saw. This is why these guys play... Okay, må jeg lige få lov at læse? Jesus Christ, altså. Why these guys played in the top level for 10 years. Er det ikke Ronaldo, som ikke kalder ham en ven længere? Var det ikke noget med det der interview med Piers Morgan? Neville was the best English right back. Certainly, if you look at his record, he has won absolutely everything, and the number of games he has played is without a doubt the best. Fair. Unbelievable defender.
The players and managers who have played and managed both with and against him know just how good Neville was. They know that his professionalism and determination aren't attributes that you use to downplay his technical ability. The fact that he was playing for his boyhood club and gave everything wasn't a crutch. It was a cherry on top. You simply can't be a starting player for a team as good as United over 2 decades if you're not a gifted footballer. It's not possible. Self-deprecation is an endearing quality. We all know someone who can't laugh at their own expense. They aren't fun to be around. But with Neville, I feel like it's gone a little bit too far.
You know, it's a big game, and it's great to be...
Altså, det er vildt, at det faktisk er Gary Neville og Jamie Carragher, at det så er Gary Neville, der bliver shit-talket så meget, føler jeg.
Sat beside a legend of the game, and...
Ikke at nogen af dem burde, men altså...
Gary Neville. So...
2 things for a fullback. You're either a failed winger or a failed centre-back. Thanks for that. I was neither.
Which were you?
Just failed. You grew up as a centre-back, didn't you? You're a centre-back to start.
Centre-back, yeah.
No one wants to be a full.
Jeg får sådan lidt ondt af ham, når jeg sådan ser de her clips her. Også fordi, sådan, prøv at overveje at have sådan en stor karriere, som han har haft. Altså,
Back as a kid, no one wants to grow up and be a Gary Neville.
It can be frustrating watching players who could never have achieved what Neville did make snide remarks and openly laugh at his expense. I'm looking at you, Micah Richards.
Let's get the elephant out of the room. I was a better player than you. Come on.
Jeg har ikke set Gary Neville spille, men muligt det der til nogensinde kan være rigtigt. Altså sådan...
But what's more frustrating is that Gary's need to change how he's viewed has allowed this to grow to the point it has become widely accepted that Neville was just lucky. He came through United when he did. 8 league titles, 2 Champions Leagues, 3 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, 85 international caps, a mandatory first team pick for 5 different England managers, 5-time PFA Team of the Year, and knocking Liverpool off their perch. You tell me who should be laughing.
Damn! Bro, ham her, der har lavet den her video, han har sat ind med nogle følelser omkring Gary Neville. Jesus Christ. Ja. Men det er også det, altså sådan... The view sådan, på fodboldverdenen har også bare ændret sig, især efter Twitter, for eksempel. Det er blevet noget toxic piss, hvor det nærmest handler om at være mere negativ mod dine rivalklubber, kontra egentlig bare prøve at støtte din egen klub. Så det er blevet sådan noget med, om vi taber en kamp, okay, så... eller lad os sige, at Arsenal slår Chelsea, så vil det nærmest være mere naturligt, at jeg går ind og skriver, haha, fuck Chelsea på Twitter, i stedet for at skrive, fuck, det var en vigtig sejr, lækkert Arsenal. Altså sådan, det er bare sådan, det har ændret sig til, det synes jeg er trist, men vi har også snakket om det på podcasten før. Jamen fair, altså sådan, Gary Neville fortjener sin flowers. Til tider så ser jeg også Sky Sports, og sådan, jeg har mine perioder med Jamie Carragher og Gary Neville, men all in all, så synes jeg, at de er nogle gode pundits faktisk at have derinde. Altså sådan, de kommer... Og det er også forskel på, fra hvad man egentlig bedømmer til at være en god pundit, eller være en god podcast, for eksempel relevant podcast også, det har vi også snakket om førhen, men dermed sådan... du kan jo godt være en god pundit, selvom du ikke altid har ret. For mig at se, så handler det bare om, at du får dine argumenter kastet ud på bordet. Og til tider har der selvfølgelig været nogle perioder, hvor det ikke er lykkedes for blandt andet Gary Neville. Men ofte synes jeg faktisk, om han har ret eller ikke har ret, så prøver han at få sin argument sådan, across the board. Og det synes jeg, han er god til. Så, fair play, big up Gary Neville. Og sådan noget der, helt sikkert. Jeg håber, I nyder den her type video. Hvis jeg skal reagere på flere sådan nogle, så må I jo gerne skrive noget i kommentarfeltet. Og ellers, subscribe hvis I er ny, så ses vi i morgen til endnu en video. Peace!